Europe flooded with one-time Russian spies, says Intel. Poland uncovers sabotage network amid rising Russian threat. Here's the latest, so you'll be in focus. Subscribe and stay tuned. The Foreign Intelligence Service of Ukraine reports that Russia is recruiting so-called single-use spies in Europe. Since 2022, European countries have expelled several hundred Russian intelligence officers, so Russian recruiters are now offering ordinary citizens payment to carry out one-off tasks. Victoria Chestuhina will provide more details.
Russian intelligence services have stepped up recruitment efforts among residents of European countries. Most such cases have been recorded in Poland and the Baltic states. Around 130 people across 12 European countries are suspected of working for Russia. Realizing that many of its agents are bound to be exposed, Moscow now prefers to use so-called disposable spies. Their task is to collect information and undermine European stability.
Russian recruiters are actively using the internet, social networks, church communities, sports clubs, and public events to find potential operatives. Such individuals are usually involved only once to obtain information or carry out specific tasks in the interests of the aggressor. This is part of the Kremlin's hybrid strategy aimed at undermining the security of European states, from a statement on the website of Ukraine's Foreign Intelligence Service.
Moscow has been forced to resort to these risky and unreliable methods after its espionage network across Europe was largely dismantled. Since Russia launched its full-scale invasion of Ukraine, European intelligence services have expelled about 700 agents who had been operating under diplomatic cover.
The largest purges took place in Bulgaria, where 82 Russian diplomats were declared persona non grata. Germany expelled 65, Poland 58, Romania 52, Slovakia 39, and both the Netherlands and Slovenia 34, from a statement on the website of Ukraine's Foreign Intelligence Service.
Russia is increasing its hybrid activities in Europe, and it could trigger a military confrontation with NATO and the EU within the next few years.
The hybrid means Russia uses to achieve this are now ubiquitous. The frequency of these individual incidents represents a new level of confrontation, a confrontation in which Russia regards us as an adversary and a belligerent party. Russia is camouflaging its intentions, but in reality, it is aiming to test our borders. At best, there is a frosty peace in Europe, which could turn into hot confrontation here and there at any moment. We must prepare ourselves for further escalations, Martin Jaeger, German ambassador, in a comment to Bloomberg.
Across Europe, covert and direct attacks by Russian intelligence services are being recorded more and more frequently. Analysts believe Russia is already preparing for a potential war with NATO.
Russia's ongoing sabotage and drone reconnaissance activities against military bases and critical infrastructure in Europe indicate that Russia has already entered Phase 0 of its campaign to prepare for a possible NATO-Russia war in the future, from an Institute for the Study of War report.
To prevent further escalation, the alliance must reduce Russia's ability to threaten Europe, stresses Germany's foreign minister.
We must always remember that Russia's interests go far beyond Ukraine. Russian aggression is directed against the whole of Europe and NATO. We have heard this often enough from Moscow, and we increasingly see Russia testing NATO's resilience. To prevent further escalation of Putin's extremely dangerous game, we must continue to limit his ability to threaten us. This includes draining Russia's military budget.
Russia is using every possible method to destabilize Europe. Recently, Polish border guards discovered a tunnel running under the Polish-Belarusian border. The passage started in Belarus and ended on the Polish side, about 20 meters beyond the demarcation line. According to Euronews, this is the second tunnel uncovered this year in that border area. The first was found near the Narevka border post. It is believed that these structures are intended to help saboteurs and migrants cross from Belarus into Poland. Since January 2025, Poland's Border Guard Service has documented over 26,000 attempted illegal border crossings. Reported by Victoria Chestuhina, UATV News.
Russian spies are advising migrants on how to avoid deportation from the UK and other European countries, Bulgaria's Interior Minister Danil Mitov said, as reported by The Telegraph. The minister stated that the regime of Russian dictator Putin is cooperating with ultra-left groups to flood Europe with migrants. It is noted that Bulgaria will participate in a summit organized by UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer in London on October 22nd, where closer cooperation to combat illegal immigration through the Western Balkans will be discussed. Meanwhile, concerns about Russian activities in Europe extend beyond migration tactics. Over the past few days, 8 people have been detained in Poland on suspicion of preparing acts of sabotage, Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk wrote on social media platform X. Authorities in Warsaw claim that the scale of Russian intelligence operation in Poland has reached an unprecedented level. Andriy Dmitrenko reports on the tactics the aggressor state is using in Europe.
Over the past few months, Polish authorities have detained 55 individuals suspected of working for Russian intelligence services, according to Poland's security agency. One of the latest cases, reported by the National Prosecutor's Office, involves a Russian agent tasked with mailing explosives to various EU countries. While the suspect was arrested in Poland, 2 accomplices were detained in Romania.
These packages were designed to ignite or explode during transportation. The goal of these coordinated actions was to intimidate the public and destabilize European Union countries that support Ukraine. From a statement by the National Prosecutor's Office of the Republic of Poland,
Russian intelligence activity in Poland has reached unprecedented levels, according to Jacek Dobrzyński, spokesperson for the coordinator of Polish Special Services. He says these operations are part of a broader strategy to undermine European unity. With Poland guarding NATO and the EU's eastern flank, he stresses the need for national unity and readiness in the face of Russian threats.
Ludzi nawzajem na siebie, Polaków na Polaków.
they are trying to divide people, turn them against each other. Poles against Poles, Poles against Ukrainians, against Germans, against other Europeans. Poland has long been a target for Russian spies and intelligence operations, especially since our country's transformation and accession to NATO and the EU.
The current tactic of Russian intelligence involves recruiting so-called disposable spies, ordinary civilians contacted via social media, given a single mission, and then cut off. This decentralized network of low-level operatives makes sabotage operations harder to detect and prevent, analysts warn.
It's very hard to fight against this, because even if one network of agents is exposed, another quickly appears. Unfortunately, there are a lot of such individuals in the world. Russia is weaponizing them. Sabotage, murder, arson. These acts can be carried out by proxies, often easily and with few consequences.
The threat of Russian hybrid attacks and sabotage has also prompted Romania to reassess its national security strategy. Bucharest is finalizing its updated national defense strategy for 2026 to 2030. The draft will be reviewed by the Supreme Council of National Defence and Parliament by November 26th.
Unlike the 2020 to 2024 strategy, which focused on aligning with NATO standards and military modernization, the new version identifies Russia as the main source of hybrid threats. Key priorities include adapting defence systems to Black Sea regional challenges, deepening NATO and EU cooperation, strengthening cyber defence, and combating disinformation. The CSAT plans to create coordinated structures and rapid response interagency teams to counter hybrid attacks. From a report by the Ukrainian Foreign Intelligence Service.
Russian diplomatic missions could also serve as operational cells for intelligence activity, Czech officials warn. Prague is pushing for EU-wide rules requiring Russian diplomats to coordinate travel across member states. The Czech government proposes including this measure in the next round of sanctions against Moscow.
It makes no sense that a Russian diplomat accredited in Spain can come to Prague whenever he likes. We should apply strict reciprocity to the issuance of short-stay diplomatic visas under the Vienna Convention. Jan Lipavsky, Czech Foreign Minister, in a comment to the Financial Times.
The Kremlin's extensive spy networks are being used to gather intelligence on military infrastructure across EU territory. According to European intelligence agencies, unidentified drones are also increasingly entering NATO airspace. EU Commissioner for Defence and Space Andrius Kubilius warns that Russia may launch military aggression against the European Union by the year 2030, reported by Andriy Dmitrenko, UATV News.
What's your take on all this? Share your thoughts below. This is UATV. Stay sharp, in focus, and stay safe.